Okay, now, as Frank told you, my name is Carpentier. That is a French name. That's the most common name in France. It's Carpentier. Now, that's not my family name. My real family name is Carpentieri, or the Italian pronunciation Carpentieri. That's our family name. And the reason for that is when my grandfather came here from Naples in 1913, he wanted to get a job in a restaurant. And back then, they were not hiring Italians for restaurants. They were hiring them to be bricklayers and masons, which was no bad thing, because if you look at the houses they built in Garfield and Modi, those houses look like they'll last for 500 years. So a lot of people know how to build, I'll tell you. So he contacted his brother who lived here, and he found out that the French were getting all the jobs for the restaurants. So what he did was, when he got to Ellis Island, he took the I off the end of his name and made it Carpentier. He went from Andolo Carpentieri to Andrew Carpentier, got a job in a restaurant in Hoboken, and then 10 years later, in 1926, absolutely true, he opened up the very first pizzeria in Hudson County on Central Avenue in Union City. So, as you can tell, I have deep roots in my Italian heritage. And when I think of my Italian heritage, I think of my grandmother. And my grandmother made the best sauce on earth, the absolute best sauce on earth. That's the mark of a true Italian. Either your mother or your grandmother made the best sauce. No one else did. You would never even think that anyone else would make a better sauce. No Italian would go to another Italian and say, "Hey, Nick, you know, your mother makes the best sauce, better than my mother." You would never say that, because if your mother found out, you would have to deal with her when you got to the house. Because you go to your mother's house, she knows you said that. "Come here, sonny, come here. Listen, I made a fresh pot of sauce. I want you to smell it. Come on, it smells good now. Now I want you to taste it. Taste it. You disrespect me. You don't talk to me that way. Taste it, huh? So Nikki's mother make the better sauce than mine? Nah. Now wash your face. We're ready for dinner. Rule number one, never disrespect your mother's sauce. Okay? Now, absolutely true. My grandmother, she lived in a small apartment in Union City. Very small apartment. Had a very small living room, or a parlor, what they called it. Very small bedroom, one little bed. Little bathroom they could only stand in. And then she had this kitchen that was absolutely humongous. The true mark of an Italian household is the point of family life in an Italian household. Not the living room, not the family room, not the den. It is the kitchen. That is where you congregate. That is where we cook. Because believe me, Italians know how to cook. We use more gas than anybody else. Public service loves Italians. PSE&G, they love us. We use more gas than anybody. They have a different set of rules if something goes wrong. Like another family called up and says, "My stove isn't working, I'm not getting any gas." I said, "What's your name?" "Smith." "Well, it's Tuesday, we'll be here maybe Thursday or Friday, we'll fix your stove for you." For Italians, it's a different set of rules. You call up and say, "Hey, you know, my stove's not working. What's the matter?" "Oh, okay, what's your name?" "Manzarelli." "Manzarelli? Oh, Madonna. All right, Mr. Manzarelli, sit tight. We'll have somebody there in about 10 minutes. They called up dispatch. "We have an emergency at the Manzarelli house. They're not getting any gas. They don't get any gas, they can't cook. They can't cook, we can't profit. Get somebody there now. And if you do a good job, they'll invite you for dinner." That's the thing about Italian households. We will invite you to dinner. Here's the thing, in an Italian household, you never have to worry about not eating. If we're eating and you come to our house, you're going to eat too, whether you want to or not. That is the rule number 2 for Italians. Never, ever tell an Italian woman who has cooked a big meal that you are not hungry. She will not believe you. You say, "I'm not hungry." "Yes, you are. Sit down." That is a fact. Never say that. I mean, in Italian households, if you come to our house to eat, we're going to fit you into the table. There could be 10 people at the table. 6 more come in, now we'll fit you. Come on, everybody sit in. Everybody, squeeze in. Come on, go squeeze in. Everybody, yeah. Get a folding chair, get a barrel, get a stool, get a box, something. You will sit at our table and eat. It is not unusual to sit at an Italian table and eat like this. And you can still have conversation. You still talk to the person next to you. "Hey, how's the matter going?" "Pretty good." "Oh, another elbow to the chin." That's like living in an Italian household. See, I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of who I am. And believe me, I'm not saying that Italians are better than anybody. We're just different. And thank God He made me Italian. And thank God to all of you for being Italian. Thank you. Okay. We're getting off the Italian subject. We're having fun here. Are we having fun? You know how I like to have fun? You know what I do to have fun? You ever notice the back of these vans, these family vans that have the little decals with the family on the back of it? The mother, the father, the little kids in the back. What I like to do, I like to get some extra decals when nobody's looking. I like to stick a couple of extra kids on the back of their cars, just to see what they do when they come out to the car. I can just see a guy coming out and says, hey, honey, how many kids do we got? We got 3, right? No, according to the car, we got 5. I mean, I know we got little Eddie, little Jimmy, little Timmy. Who are the other 2? We gotta start doing head counts nowadays, babe. Come on. That's what I do when I have fun. So if you have a car that looks like that, and I'm in the neighborhood, double check it, okay? So, well, today is Sunday, right? Did anybody go to the grocery store today? Anybody go to the grocery store? I mean, that's usually what you do on a Sunday. After you go to church, you either go out to breakfast, you go home, or you go to the supermarket. The ShopRite, A&P, and you know, there's a few things that bother me about supermarkets, really. Things I don't like. Like, you ever notice when you're in a supermarket and you see somebody, a very able-bodied person, pushing a shopping cart with just one thing in it? That just bugs me. I want to go up to the person and say, what are you doing there? Look, you've got nothing in there. It's empty. You've got all this room. Why are you wasting your time doing that? I mean, have some of my stuff. Come on, I don't need all this. Do something about that. But what are you going to, the one-eyed molest line? Come on. That's what I do when I go grocery shopping. Another thing I don't like when I'm in grocery shopping is when I go to the 10 items or less line and you're in a hurry and the person in front of you has more than 10 items. Aren't you thinking to yourself, you're saying to yourself, you lowlife, how dare you? You think you're better than me, don't you? You're getting a few extra items. What do you think, you're wonderful? You're probably the type of person that parks in the handicap spot and then jogs into the store. I hope you can live with yourself. People like that get me angry. And then the thing I hate the most is when you are at the deli counter and you pick a number. Like you say you're number 19, there's always somebody at the deli counter that is leaning against the counter, holding number 26 and saying, 26, 26, 26. And you know, at 19, like they actually think that the person behind the counter is going to jump ahead 7 places and serve you. That is not going to happen. 26, you know, I look at them, I say, are you that desperate for salami? Does the coleslaw really turn you on? Are you looking at that pastrami and salivating? If you'd like to take my number, I'm number 24. Do you want that? You can have it. I'll give it to you for $10. Or I would like to be the number right before them. If they're number 26, I'd like to be number 25. And then as they're anticipating, I would just look at the counter and then they say, okay, 24, 25, 25! You're going to have to wait 26. Because I'm only going to pound a half of everything. So, in the mind of shopping, when people go shopping, men and women go shopping, 2 different things here. Women are naturally born to go shopping. Women know how to go shopping. When men go shopping, we go into a store, we're in and out in 5 minutes. We know what we want, we're done. When a woman goes shopping, she goes on Tuesday and she leaves on Thursday. This is how women go shopping. Now, when men go shopping, for women, it's probably the hardest thing we'll ever have to do. Because we never buy the right thing. We come home with the wrong thing all the time. That's not what I wanted. You come home. So there are several things that I don't like to buy when I go shopping for the woman. There are several things. One is shampoo. Now, it's quite obvious that I don't use shampoo. I don't need shampoo. I mean, my brother used to make jokes to me and said, I'm getting shampoo. Do you want some wipes? So, buying shampoo, I like to follow people's eyes as they watch me in the shampoo aisle. As I'm looking at the shampoo, and they're looking at me, and they're looking at my head, and they're just trying to say to themselves, what do you need shampoo for? I got so riled up one time that one lady looked at me and she said, what do you need shampoo for? And I said, well, I got this in here. You know, I do have hairs, and the label says all types of hair, so I'm pretty sure this will work. And another thing about shampoo is women have become more sophisticated when they buy shampoo. See, when men buy shampoo when they need it, they look at shampoo that their hair looks good and it smells nice. Women are far beyond that now because they don't look for shampoo for its fragrance, they look for shampoo for its flavor. They're looking at shampoo like they're looking for melon, green apple, cherry almond, honey vanilla. They're looking at shampoo that I can actually picture a woman in the shower, looking at the shampoo in her hand and saying, that is delicious. So that's one thing that bothers me about shampoo. Another thing I don't like to buy is makeup. When you go to the store to try to buy makeup for the lady in your life, it's the most intimidating place in the world to me is the makeup counter at a department store, like a Macy's, where you have these beautiful women, incredibly beautiful women clerks, who have enough makeup on that they need a power washer to get it off, and they suggest to you what your wife would need for makeup. And they say, she needs this, she needs that, she needs that. They say, whoa, 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 whoa. How do you know what my wife looks like? How do you know what her face looks like? I know her eyebrows could be hanging over her eyes. Her nose could be hanging over her mouth. I mean, her cheek could be up to her forehead. How do you know what my wife looks like? Makeup to me is a very intimidating thing. And I think there are alternatives to makeup. Like if you run out of lipstick, then you just chew on a cherry lollipop. Your lips will get nice and red. That's all you need. I mean, I'm out of eyeliner. Take a Sharpie. That should work just the same, shouldn't it? And eyebrow pencils, grease pencils work the same to me. So women's makeup is the thing I don't like to buy, which leads me to the thing I hate buying the most for a woman. And that is pantyhose. Now, when you send me to the store for pantyhose, I think of the packaging of pantyhose. Now, remember pantyhose used to come in an egg? They used to put pantyhose inside an egg. And I wondered, who came up with that idea? Was somebody having breakfast one morning, cracked open an egg, looked at the egg and said, I could probably put a pair of pantyhose in here and market it? I never understood that. So when I'm at the aisle for pantyhose. Now what happens to a guy, when you don't know what you need to get, you have to call home. So I call home and I said, okay, I'm at the pantyhose aisle. What size are you? Then she said to me, well, it doesn't matter, one size fits all. I have never quite understood the logic behind one size fits all. Now, you have petite, small, medium, large, extra large, extra large. So you're trying to tell me that they have a size that fits everybody? As Shakespeare would say, methinks not. But if they do have that, why don't they utilize it? Why don't they make everything that size? I mean, think about it. You go to a department store, you wouldn't have a rush to do. You would just look at the color you want, just take it off, and that's it. You've got the size you need. You can eliminate the need for returns and exchanges, because why do people return things? Because they don't fit. In this case, everything fits. So why would you not want to do something like that? One size fits all. If they had any brains, they would create something like that. But like I say, the thing that I doubt on that is, are you trying to tell me that this will fit not only an 80-pound gymnast, but a 500-pound sumo wrestler? I find that hard to believe. So, that is what bothers me about shop. Okay, then with the pantyhose, I say, what color do you want? And I said, they have black, white, tan, and she says, get them in mauve. There is one thing that separates men from women, is their concept of color. What is mauve? It's a color, but no, it's not. I've never heard of it before. It doesn't sound like a color. I mean, what does it look like? Have you ever seen anybody driving a mauve Chevy? It's a strange name. Mauve is not a color. It's the sound you make when you get out. That's what mauve is. But this is where men and women differ, is their concepts of color. When men look at color for what it is. Red, yellow, blue, green, orange, purple, black, brown, white, tan. That's how men look at color. Women do not look at color like that. Women associate color with food. Now, if I say that is a dark purple, I say, oh no, that's eggplant. That's a deep color of red. Oh no, that's cranberry. That's a nice light orange. No, that's salmon. I like that. It's a sort of a dark tan. Oh no, that's cappuccino. I had to get a tux 2 months ago for a wedding. And I had to match my wife's dress. So I said, okay, I gotta get it. What is the color of your dress? She said, it's champagne. Is it pink or white champagne? So this is how women look at color. Imagine if men associated color with food. What would we have? Think about it. What would we have? Oh, that looks like a brownish orange. Nah, that's more of a shade of knockwurst. It's a sort of an orangey yellow. Oh, no, that's cheese whiz. That's a pale shade of gold. No, that's Bud Light. So, men and women's differences in color is pretty much the differences in taste. And believe me, as I look around here, there's a lot of happy couples here. Somehow we do it, somehow we manage. And thank God that He's made men and women to be together for a purpose. Because if He hadn't, we wouldn't be here right now. That's the absolute truth. Okay. I want to give you one last thought on movies. Now, they've been making a lot of sequels to movies, if you remember. Like all these different movies come up with sequels. But there's one movie that never had a sequel that I thought is perfect for a sequel. And that is one of my favorite movies of all time, The Wizard of Oz. Now, everybody has seen The Wizard of Oz. Now, when you think about The Wizard of Oz, in my way of thinking, there's no real closure to that movie, if you remember the end of The Wizard of Oz. Because, remember the end, the grainy black and white, where Dorothy looks at Auntie Em and says, oh, Auntie Em, there's no place like home. What Dorothy is forgetting is that mean old lady on the bicycle that wanted to kidnap Toto. What happened to her? Isn't she still out there somewhere? Now, do you think she's going to give up? No, she's coming back to get Toto. That's what she's going to do. So this is why I think we should create a sequel to The Wizard of Oz. And it would open up in that scene where Dorothy is looking at Auntie Em and says, Auntie Em, there's no place like home. And that mean old lady on the bicycle shows up with a shotgun and says, okay, now I got Toto. Where is he? So she takes Toto at gunpoint, Dorothy gets all upset, she faints, and then she has another dream about Oz, and that's where our sequel begins. But we've got to change a few things. The first thing I want to do is change Toto. I don't want a little mop of a dog, I want a real big dog. I want a real dog. I want to make Toto a Rottweiler. Because this way Dorothy needs a bigger basket to carry him around in. So, and then he'd be a little more intimidating when the Wicked Witch came there. And he goes, now I've got you and your little dog. Get him away from me. Get him away from me. He's dead. Get him away from me. I would like to see also the Cowardly Lion come out and admit it. That's all I'm going to say. I just want him to admit it. I would like to see the Munchkins get angry and boycott all the Dunkin' Donuts in the area for using their names without their permissions. And the final thing I want to see is I want to see Dorothy and the Scarecrow do something together. Because they came so close in the original, if you remember that. Remember as he looked at him, she said, I'll miss you most of all? You knew there was some magic in the eyes between the two of them. But it was the wizard who messed it all up. Now I don't know why they called him the Wizard of Oz, because think about what he did. The wizard, he didn't do anything great. What did he do? He gave the Scarecrow a cruelty diploma. He gave the Lion a medal, it looks like the Nazi Iron Cross. And then he gave the Tin Man a little plastic car with a clock in it. This is stuff you can get in a dollar store. And then he was supposed to take Dorothy home in that big balloon of his, but he messed that up too. Remember? So why are we making such a big thing about the Wizard of Oz? I'll tell you why. Because in the movies of today, they will always find a way to have the man and the woman end up in a sort of a happy kind of love story ending. And this is where I think that Dorothy and the Scarecrow should end up in the middle of the field until she realizes she's made of straw, nothing's going to happen, and she's going to probably go back home to Auntie Em. So, for all of you, I thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. I think you people are wonderful. And I also want to say something about Hohokus. Beautiful town with a funny name. There are a lot of names in Bergen County that are like that. Beautiful names of towns, like your own town of Waldwick. Beautiful name, Waldwick. Some other town, Ridgewood, Saddle River, Allendale, Fairlawn. Beautiful name. And then you have a town like Hohokus. That is funny. Now, there are a lot of funny towns in Bergen County. Now, I worked in a town for 25 years. Hackensack. That's a funny name, Hackensack. Sounds like a grocery store. You go Stop and Shop, Hackensack. And then there's a town called Moonachie. That's a funny name. Nice town, just a funny name. Moonachie. Sounds like a card game you play. Let's play some hands of Moonachie. And then there's a town not too far from here. My sister lives there. It's the most beautiful town in Bergen County. It's got the strangest name, and that is Momma. Sounds like a little kid didn't get his way. So, I don't want to give you agita. I just thank you for letting me be here tonight, and believe me, you're wonderful people, and thank God that He made Italians. God bless you. Bye.
Thank you, Bob. Let's hear for Bob Carpentier.